If you are watching this video, it is probably because you have a job interview in a few days or maybe even tomorrow, so you are looking for someone to give you some tips to present the best version of yourself and get the job. Let me tell you that you are in the right place. And in this video, I'm going to give you some of the best tips that I would have liked to receive when I was interviewing as a candidate, so you can land this job. Hello, how are you? I am John Charles, I work in human resources, and I am here to give you a hand. Today we are going to see some tips to help you ace your job interview. Let's get to it. First, a winning attitude. Before anything else, you need to understand what it means to be in front of your interview. It's very simple. You have already gone through the resume screening phase. You have probably had a phone interview and you have been invited for a personal interview. This is very positive because it means that you match the profile the company is looking for in that position. So the first thing is to build up your confidence for this interview. Think that every hour that passes, companies are spending money on payroll and social security, including the payroll and social security of the person who is going to interview you. In other words, every hour the company invests in you, it is spending money. So if you are already at this stage and they are going to spend an hour of their time interviewing you, they are already making an investment in you. You have a lot of potential, and if you do well, the position will be yours. On the other hand, the interviewer wants you to fit in, which is why they called you and why they will spend that time with you. Their job will be much more efficient the fewer interviews they have to conduct. Leave your insecurities aside, fill yourself with confidence, and adopt the right mindset to face the interview. You have a chance. Second, get informed. Interviewers really appreciate it when you take the selection process seriously and gather information before going to the interview. This shows that you genuinely want to be part of their team. So when you finish watching this video, run to Google to look for information about the company that is going to interview you. Find out about what they do, what they sell, their history, the values they hold, and how they have reached the present times. Because in the interview, it will be very noticeable who is prepared and who truly has an interest in working at this company. To do this, you can review the job posting they have uploaded on LinkedIn or on their job portal or on the job portal where you applied. In these descriptions, you can see not only the tasks of the position you have applied for, but also the necessary skills you need to fit into this role. This will help you respond in a personalized way that is tailored to the needs of this company and will make you stand out much more in the interview. 3. What will be evaluated in the interview? In the previous phase, the resume screening, it is verified that you have the appropriate education, profile, and experience to work in this position, in this company. 2001. Therefore, now in the personal interview, they will not delve so much into the content of your resume, but rather they will deeply explore your professional profile, the experiences you have had, and how you have behaved during those experiences. Therefore, in this phase, the aim will be to delve deeply into your knowledge, your experiences, and above all, how you have reached the present moment with your current profile. In other words, you will reach everything that cannot be reached by just reading a resume. Let me put it another way. 2001, you fit on paper, and that's why you are in the interview. Now it's time to sell yourself and get them to buy. To understand how you should approach the interview, it is necessary to understand that within human resources, two types of skills are recognized. On one hand, there are hard skills. These are the knowledge and technical skills you have for working. For example, your level of English, your degree of experience with a particular software tool, and your knowledge of the sector, all of this. For example, if you are in an accounting administrative position, a hard skill would be your proficiency in Excel. On the other hand, there are soft skills. These skills are those that support hard skills and no longer define your job as much, but rather how you perform your job. We are talking about social skills, emotional skills, and all the resources you have to be able to perform your job in a company. Examples of soft skills include leadership, your ability to manage time, or how you work in a team. Well, returning to the matter at hand, you will be evaluated based on your hard skills, especially in your resume. But in the interview, they will evaluate you based on your soft skills. More than anything, to verify that the information seen on your resume beforehand matches what they are seeing in front of them. In the interview, the recruiter wants to know what you are like to see if you would fit in this position and if you will be able to fit into this company. They want to see if you are honest, if you can be a good leader, if you have the ability to work in a team, or for example, if you are efficient in your position. Therefore, the best way to approach the interview correctly is to be open, speak honestly, and provide all the useful information for this position in a transparent manner. How can you do this? Well, stay tuned because we are going to dive into it now. The questions and the way you answer in a job interview are the key tools that interviewers will use to get to know you and understand how you operate. And your response, the message, and how you convey this message is what will determine and make the difference with other candidates. I just told you that you should answer in an open and honest way, but that doesn't mean you have to talk too much and be overly transparent. You need to be very smart with what you say and how you say it. And I'm going to tell you something else. One characteristic of human resources interviews is that they are based on critical incidents. And what does it mean that they are based on critical incidents? Well, it means they are based on examples. It's no use saying that you are a good team worker if you don't demonstrate it with practical examples where it can be effectively seen that you are a good team player. Let's look at an example. Imagine that you are in a position where it is very important for you to be someone who works very well in a team. Well, let me introduce you to candidate number 1, and this is his response. I am an excellent team player, and my colleagues see me as someone who knows how to work in a team. All right, now let's see how candidate number 2 responds to the same question. In my last job, I remember a day when we had to process an order that came in at the last minute. There were only 2 hours left in the workday, and to give you an idea, it takes a person about 4 hours to process one of these orders. So what we did was have a brief meeting in the conference room to see how we could distribute the work so that everyone could collaborate on this order and it could be completed in a time that was 3 times shorter than usual. The experience was really good. Not only were we able to deliver the order on time, but we also did it in slightly less time than required. To celebrate, the next day we brought some pastries for breakfast that we could share with the team. This is something that happens quite frequently in my job. This was simply an example, and it is how I feel comfortable working. And the truth is that it is how I would like to work in the future. And now I ask you, which of the 2 candidates do you think is a better team worker? Candidate number 1 or candidate number 2? For me, the answer is obvious. It is possible that the first candidate is even a better team player than the second, but the second has convinced me, and I have to assume that about the first. Non-verbal language so far, we have talked about the message, but we have not stopped to talk about how you convey the message. The issue of non-verbal language can be very complex. So now I would like you to focus on a few key ideas. Remember that you are there because you truly fit the position. So try to set aside your nerves as much as possible. Focus on the questions being asked and center your answers on soft skills and critical incidents or examples that are necessary to support your argument. I mention this because when we are nervous, we usually start to stammer, we don't really know how to frame our answers, we improvise, and that gives an impression of insecurity to the interviewer. The posture you should maintain is relaxed. If you are in person, you will need to be in a relaxed but upright position without looking like you have swallowed a fork. You don't need to be rigid. A comfortable, upright but relaxed posture is appropriate. You also need to avoid nervous leg shaking because it will make you appear nervous and will make the interviewer nervous as well. As for your hands, they should accompany your message. Avoid making overly exaggerated gestures or sudden movements or banging on the table because that does not make you seem like a balanced person. It's very normal when we are nervous, but focus on moving your hands in a harmonious way that complements your message. As for the palms of your hands, you should place them facing the interviewer. Do not place them facing down. Do not place them with closed fists. And do not make gestures like this, which indicate that the hand is very tense and that you are tense. Accompany your message, and when you need to gesture, do so with your palms facing up. And finally, active listening. Let the interviewer explain everything they want to explain. Ask questions correctly and avoid interrupting them. In communication, there is a saying that even when you don't want to communicate, you are communicating. In other words, it is impossible not to communicate. And when your mouth is closed and you are listening, you are also communicating to the other person. It has to be noticeable that you are interested in what the other person is saying, so show respect by allowing them to finish their questions and make any interruptions they want. Additionally, if you listen carefully and give the interviewer this space, you will receive very useful information that you can use throughout the interview, thereby generating a coherent discourse that will give you solidity and many options to secure the position. I hope these tips have helped you prepare for the interview and that you can finally get the job. Lastly, I wish you the best of luck and hope that it will be yours. If you like the content, I advise you to subscribe and give it a thumbs up because that will mean you like the content, which will help me to keep working. That's all. See you in the next video. Goodbye.